Ladies and gentlemen, this is internet personality Vangelus here with a review of Masterpiece Dragonkaiser, the second and sadly final Masterpiece Brave toy by Takara. This is just a quick shot to show you the overview of everything you get with him, aside from his instruction book. You get, aside from everything that's plugged onto the Dragon Jet already, 2 spare breast pieces, a giant golden arrow, and 5 extra hands. I know you're all impatient to see what this guy does, so let's just get to the meat. The Dragon Jet is fairly titanic. It barely fits into shot here, and it really is just that big. For a quick size comparison, those of you who recall my Masterpiece King Exkaiser review, here's the King Loader next to it. It's kind of diminutive. The Dragon Jet was an auxiliary piece of equipment in Exkaiser, from what I know. As I said, I haven't actually seen the whole series as of this point. But it was designed, I believe, to supplement Exkaiser when the King Loader was perhaps damaged or something like that. I think that happened in the Brave Saga 2 game. It's got some really good detail, very show accurate, but there's one big problem, owing in part to the transformation. These don't lock in any way, shape, or form, so it's very hard to get this set up well if you're really into your symmetry. I mean, if you can let it go, it's fine, but it's very easy for those parts to get out of whack. Really nice detail, though, would be this landing gear. It's got some nice, big, solid die-cast landing gear, working wheels and everything. It's also got an interesting sub-function, which is that if you fold out a little trailer hitch from under here, and you have to fold this out and then push that back in. It's a very tricky thing here because it feels like it's going to break, and if you don't push in the middle piece yourself, it actually might break. This thing can hitch onto Exkaiser's little alt mode, kind of like a giant tractor trailer. I don't know if this ever got used in the series, and quite frankly, I don't know why it would have, but it's nice as a function. It does roll really well. I'm not sure exactly what would cause this tiny little card to need to pull this enormous blue jet, is what I'm getting at here. If you want, I guess you could fold up the wings. Anyway. That's a really minor feature, although I am glad that they put it in. It's just a nice little attention to detail, I suppose. These landing gears can fold in quite easily. With just a flick like that. Over here, the big trouble is trying to get these doors open. You'll sit here futzing with these doors from the outside for quite a while. All you have to do is fold the foot up and push the door from the inside, and you're basically set to go. That's, as I said, really not the bulk of the entertainment here. What you guys want to see, I'm sure, is the transformation. And I don't want to make you wait any longer for that, so I'll leave this in Exkaiser's hands. Masterpiece Dragonkaiser is a burly robot. In fact, if there is one critique to drop on him right away, it would be that he is a lot wider than one would expect. Whereas King Exkaiser was fairly close to the show model, this guy is not. Not really a bad thing, though. I mean, he still looks cool, and from an angle, he looks a lot thinner. But it's there, and it's for reasons. Posability-wise, he's not all that bad. He's got ball-jointed shoulders, which are fairly free, along with a bicep, elbow, wristy kind of deal. His legs are surprisingly posable. You can move the hip around pretty well, and the knees as well. Very solid, clicky joints, but this little white panel will often get flipped down when you're moving it around. And the leg can move a little bit from side to side and a little bit forward and back. One thing that's really nice, though, is his ankles. Side to side, forward and back, and the feet are solid metal. So he's got a very solid stance once you do plunk him down. Ball-jointed neck, minorly ball-jointed, but just enough for him to go, "What you looking at, son? I'm a Dragonkaiser, duh." No waist joint, unfortunately, but he gets enough posability in there to satisfy most of your needs, hopefully. The double-jointed elbows do help quite a bit. He's also got quite a plethora of action features, considering how he is kind of a walking accessory. He also has a bunch of extra hands. It's not that many, but you get 2 open pairs, 2 flat-handed pairs, and 1 mysterious peace sign. The flat-handed ones in particular are pretty nice because they let you do some of Dragonkaiser's Bruce Lee-style kung fu poses, and that they plug in on the ball and you can swivel them up and down like this, so you can go all, "Wata! Wata!" He's also got the Dragon Anchor. Unfortunately, I really don't know how these work, because I haven't seen them in the show, and Brave Saga 2 wasn't that helpful. These basically come off his shoulders and can grab onto things. Unfortunately, there's no string or anything of the sort, or any way for him to hold them, so I guess that's more or less up to your imagination. His big action feature in this mode, the most kinetic one at least, would be the Dragon Tonfa. To do that, you push that in, you slide these in, swivel this around, then you swivel his hand, open it up, and flip the handle inside. And this is his Dragon Tonfa, with which he can beat you with it. You can give him a pair of those, which is not bad. And to transform them back, just reverse the order, and there's even a handy-dandy little lever here to push the gun nozzle back out if you can't just grab a hold of it, like I'm unable to. He has one other big thing, which is that they give you quite a few show accuracy options. Now, this chest piece that's on him, as you can see, it's a solid piece. For transformation, you can just leave it off, or you can substitute this one on, which can actually fold up. And a nice little option is that you can plug this in and cover the eyes, and then you can flip his eyes off. I don't know if you caught that during the transformation, but his green eyes there can be flipped off with a little lever on the back of his neck. Like that. And then when his eyes are blank and the chest is down, he's the drone, just called Dragon. And then when the eyes are up and the chest is up, he's Dragonkaiser. So that's nice that they threw that in. There is one other thing, and it has to do with this mysterious golden arrow, which can actually be stored inside a wedge in his back there somewhere, but it's very hard to do for very, very little effect. He does come with a third chest piece, though, a very strange one. It's a little awkwardly shaped. One end's longer than the other, and it can do this. I wonder what this could be for. Overall, Dragonkaiser is a pretty fun toy, if a little bit finicky and a little bit wide. However, those are really hard things to hold against him, because he does do more than what you've seen so far, and what he does so far is pretty cool. I was not expecting that many accessories and that many features. It's really worth trying to find this guy if you've got the Exkaiser. On his own, though, I wouldn't really recommend Dragonkaiser, especially since he'll be utterly hollow if you pick him up by himself. He is already quite hollow, especially down here in the legs. Basically, he has one last function, and it's a pretty big one. You see, when you enter the King rotor into the equation, things can get a little bit crazy. How crazy? Let's find out. Behold the first ultimate hero of bravery, Great Exkaiser. This is why you buy these two toys. King Exkaiser is a decent toy on his own, Dragonkaiser is a passable toy on his own, but together they are a piece of toy fried gold. This figure is immense. He's a lot bigger than you might expect as you're putting the two together. And it's really a testament to the engineering. Very underrated engineering. This toy is not known that well, to my knowledge, outside of the few of us who are Brave fanatics. And he's really a wonderful... it's hard to describe how much I like this figure when he's combined. The separate figures kind of frustrate me here and there, but the combined mode is just absolutely gorgeous. The only thing I can really nitpick is that this red extra mane, it only pegs in down here, so you get a lot of wiggle room. That's kind of unfortunate, but really, you know, of all the things to get annoyed about, it's bottom tier. I'll just give you a quick size comparison. Let's use him. Yeah, you see that little nub down there? That's where Blur's head is. Blur is a taller deluxe, so this should give an even better sense of just how enormous this guy gets. For all the combination, he's fairly sturdy. You get all of King Exkaiser's posability, and while in the legs it's kind of weak, and it's not totally all there, Dragonkaiser's feet, which I pointed out before, offer a great anchor to the huge amount of weight that they're holding up. The arms also are quite posable, because they maintain the ball-jointed shoulders, which really helps, and of course a ball-jointed neck. No waist joint still, but the arms are also on a single elbow joint, fairly posable. Be careful though, the swivel that goes left and right here, especially, I think it's this side, the pin actually broke, so it holds together via friction, but sometimes just falls out. There is one thing you may notice, which is where in the hell did Dragonkaiser's arms go? You get options with this guy. King Exkaiser's head, no matter what you do, you can store it where the Great Exkaiser head was stored, which is inside here, along with the Dragonkaiser head. However, the arms, this is an option you get. I have him currently in show accurate mode. However, if you'd like to see him in perfect transformation mode, then things start to look a little bit different. I've changed this arm to the perfect transformation while this one remains show accurate. The big difference is that Dragonkaiser's arm is hanging there, and this piece folds down and hangs down to make room for it. Now, this isn't all that bad. The dragon anchor here, as you can see, actually folds a little bit to just make things a bit tighter overall. And this still pegs in place over the cavity that this little piece would be filling in when it folds over without the arm on it. It's not that bad. It only barely hinders arm posability because now you have like a little cape hanging down there, and you might actually like the look of this better. Personally, I like Exkaiser to get as sleek as possible only because his original toy was such a giant brick. Not just in terms of posability, but in terms of aesthetics. So, I prefer going for show accuracy mode if I'm going to be displaying Great Exkaiser. As for display, he does have a little bit of an arsenal to wield. Great Exkaiser is able to wield the might of both the Kaiser Blade and the Dragon Archery. And he holds them actually a little bit more solidly than the toys they come with, which isn't bad. Even the Kaiser Blade, which is all wibbly-wobbly. The thing is, he doesn't really deserve piddling little weapons like these. He even comes with a special pair of hands to wield his true might. The combined force of King Exkaiser and Dragonkaiser. It's something I can't really relay to you with mere words. So... Great Exkaiser is one of the coolest toys you can own as a Brave fan or even just as a robot fan. His design is impeccable. His combined form is solid and loaded with character and majesty. Unfortunately, he's also the only one in this line. Masterpiece Brave never went past Exkaiser, and it's really a shame. This engineering could have been used to make incredible renditions of the other Brave characters, at least the main heroes and their great combinations, but unfortunately he stands alone. However, as a robot that stands alone, he is incredible. Unfortunately, his price point can be quite a bit of a put-off. He tends to go for a lot, and if you can only get one of his components, you're really not getting the whole show, unfortunately. He's a toy where you really need to get both figures. King Exkaiser, as I said before many times, can stand alone fine, but really he pales in comparison to Great Exkaiser. Dragonkaiser's just a happy bonus, really. This is what you buy this toy for, and it is absolutely worth it. I wish I could help you guys find these yourselves. Troll eBay, troll Yahoo Japan auctions, just see what you can do. This toy is a grail. So at the end of the day, Masterpiece, King Exkaiser, and Dragonkaiser are a fundamental duo for any robot toy collection. Despite all of their minor flaws, when combined, they are absolutely worth the shelf space, and are a testament to a line that sadly was killed before it could truly shine. The only minor flaws I'd like to point out before I go are that there are a lot of fiddly bits and parts that can be broken if you're not careful, specifically the Great Exkaiser's shoulders, that I pointed out before, and Dragonkaiser's neck. Be very careful transforming the jet canopy and his neck. Also, the chrome is sadly not a very high quality. It's very scuffable, and it tends to look a lot like it's about to come off. I haven't really lost much chrome yet, but I just have a feeling. However, I really highly recommend these toys if you can find the pair of them. They're really worth the money. There's even a 2-pack out there with a special version of the gigantic sword. So, if you can find them, grab them. They're definitely recommended, and if you're a Brave fan, they're an absolute must. This has been Internet Personality Vangelus, and I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it's informed you about a toy you might not have known about. It's also review number 50, and what better way to celebrate than with the original King of Bravery, Exkaiser. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, here's to 50 reviews, and here's to many more to come. I'll see you in review 51.